With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Limestone Farms bourbons defy the typical that high proof means less depth and smoothness. Great crafting and blending of our rare and exotic mash bills are here to change the bourbon world. From the first sip, we invite you to discover our bourbons that are deep in Kentucky tradition and richly one of a kind. Limestone Farms, dedicated to excellence.
James E. Pepper Barrel Proof Decanter Bourbon, distilled at the historic Pepper Distillery, DSP KY5 in Lexington, Kentucky. This new release, bottled in a striking recreated distillery decanter from the 1940s, has garnered high praise and accolades. Coming in at number 27 on Fred Minnick's Top 100 Whiskeys of 2023, it received a 94-point rating and was called absolutely delicious with notes of delicate hazelnut and toffee. Astor Wines, one of New York's most prestigious retailers, writes, "The whiskeys coming of age now are some of the finest from any American whiskey producer. This bourbon is arguably the most impressive you will find at this age. Available nationwide with a suggested retail price of $65. Learn more at jamesepepper.com.
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here live in the Bourbon Life Studios tonight, it is the Bourbon Life Crew. I've got Chad.
Whoa.
I've got Matt.
Hey, Mark, you doing all right?
Doing great. Living the dream. Are you kidding me? You guys are here.
You're living the bourbon life.
I'm living the bourbon life. Thank you very much. Good catch on that one. And Stacy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? You're on the wrong side of the table tonight.
I don't like it. I don't like poor Philip. He has to look directly
We're going to
at
call you
Chad.
Philip tonight.
That's fine.
And we got Philip. No, we don't have Philip. Unfortunately,
sorry.
Philip is not here.
Philip's
Big loser. He's off doing some type of something.
Acts
charity,
like he's
something
important
I
or
was going to say,
something.
probably work for the greater good.
I was just say he's out saving lives.
So are we.
Well, we are, man. We're saving the world one dram at a time or something like that, right? Yeah. So how are you guys doing? Chad, what's been going on with you, man?
Work clothes, so work.
Yeah, you've been working. Yeah, Matt, what about you? Matt's got his work beanie on. Do you wear that to work?
No.
No.
I was about to say I'd be jealous if you did, but then I realized I could do that now.
Yeah, you could. You really
I
could.
can do that now.
Yeah, I work in my basement. I guess I could, unless I had a call or
You
something.
usually be dressed from the top up. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing
Thanks for wearing bottoms tonight.
Yeah, I'm wearing bottoms. Like that, Matt's, that's a running joke with Matt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put
very
pants
seldom
on
wear
today.
pants. So, Stacey, what's going on with you?
Well, just another day in paradise.
Yeah. You've been working hard.
Working hard, and now I'm in the basement with you degenerates, and so here
Living
we
the
are.
dream. She is living the dream.
Truly,
living the bourbon life dream.
I am #blessed.
Yeah. Well,
How about you, Mark? How are you today?
I'm doing great. It's been a very busy work day, and it's colder than whatever here in Lexington, right? It's 14 something degrees, or I think I woke up this morning, it was 9 degrees, 8
I'm really
degrees.
surprised that this is the only layering that Matt has on tonight.
I know. I had the heater running and the fireplace. Turned the heater off, of course, too much noise, but the fireplace is still rolling, but it's still pretty chilly.
I know. I'm wearing fleece lined pants, 2 shirts, and
Soft.
Matt's like, yeah, you should see Michigan during this.
Yeah, it's summer right now,
It's
right?
summer, right? Yeah. So what the hell, man? We're used to this all
What do
the
you
time.
mean it's 14 degrees when I grew up?
That's right. When I walked to school, it was 3 miles one way.
Oh, wait, Mark, you're sporting a new hairstyle, huh?
I got some new,
Look at that. The Centrum Silver, guys. The Christmas present is doing its work.
So here's the thing. I'm old now, and it's like the greasy hair look just doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I wish I had dark hair. I used to have dark hair.
Don't do the just for men thing.
No, I've just embraced it and got rid of the pomade. So yeah, I'm just going for that,
The natural blown look.
Natural wind-blown look. It's the McDreamy look. That's what my wife tells me. It's like Patrick Dempsey hair. So that's what
Oh.
Yeah,
Everybody looks down.
She's
when I
lying
said
to you,
that.
boss.
Wow, man. She calls me McCreamy. But that's another story.
Oh, God.
Oh,
What? No,
Jesus.
because I'm smooth and sweet.
Yeah.
Come on,
I'm
guys.
gonna have to have a talk with them.
Yeah. Anyway, we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by
Check, please.
Liquor Barn. Thank you, Liquor Barn, for all you do for us. And thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate everything. We picked up some sponsors this year.
You just lost 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We appreciate you guys
McCreamy.
jumping in for one episode. Thank you guys. We'll see you hopefully next year.
Yeah.
We'll give us another go. We'll get rid of me as the host and find somebody
Finally.
else.
That PR company's like, hey,
Wow.
everything's great, but we got to talk about the host.
Yeah. we love the podcast. We love the reach, but the content's great. But that guy,
That guy is.
the guy with the hair, he's out.
It is the hair. It's the hair.
Got to get rid of him. So that's okay. But we appreciate our sponsors, everything they do for us. Couldn't do the show without you all. Thank you so much. And we're happy to pick up some new sponsors this year. Really excited about that. I think 2024 is going to be the year of the Bourbon Life.
The year.
Yeah. Well, this is our 5th season, right?
Where's the
So-
banner?
I know. I need to work. I need to.
Make it-
We were
It's not,
Yeah,
a, ban-
right
it's not a
there.
banner year yet.
Oh, it's not a bad
It's the
year.
5th season, Matt. I mean, that's what, like, you know, like aluminum and like a marriage, you know, like what's your 5th anniversary?
5th year, isn't that? Well, I was going to say wood, but
I think
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear all the jokes that go with that. But
I think it is wood.
I think it is wood, right? 5th year. Yeah, I think so. Anyway.
Does that mean you're going to finally put your bar shelf up?
Oh yeah, after
Yeah.
2 years. Well, it's over there in the corner. So anyway, let's talk about what we're drinking tonight. We got some stuff poured up. What did we pour up on the first round?
I don't know,
kids?
Matt. What did we pour up on this
what
first
did-
round?
Yeah, you got
What
the
was-
sheet. You've
Oh, that's
got
right.
the
Matt
sheet.
does have the sheet.
And these notes were not written by Mark.
Yeah,
No.
pull out some good notes, not some of the crap that Mark writes.
Whoa!
Thank you, Matt.
Shots
You're welcome.
fired.
This is the Chattanooga Whiskey Batch 35 Centenary Cask.
Centenary.
That is a
So you know
mouthful.
it's important.
Yeah, so I had to do the math on the Roman numerals here. Batch XXXV.
Okay.
Yeah, or 35 if
There
you
you
will.
go.
Batch 35 Centenary Cask, an annual release of the experimental single batch series. Centenary Cask is an evolving blend of experimental pot distilled mash bills, married
distilled. Okay.
and finished in a rare 100-year-old Oloroso Sherry Ponfeigh.
All right, so I was wondering. I'm like, hopefully that means like it's a 100-year-old cask, not just a random name they gave it.
Yeah, so there you go. So
okay,
it's a 100-year-old cask that they aged it in.
Yeah, refilled in the Solera style. Each annual 100-gallon batch is uniquely different from the last, while containing traces of whiskey from previous fills. So it looks like there's a little bit of backfill left after each one here.
So Solera style, they just pour some in and take some out, right? And then they
Probably just like a system of like, you know, pumps that they have cycling it through. You know, like you see, I can't remember which distillery it is, like a pyramid. And they're like, yeah, so it goes up there and it trickles down, and
gotcha.
that's kind of the idea and like essence of it. So yeah, depending on how many they do, they could pump them onto a tank and slowly just run it through there to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so third release using the Centenary Cask, which was first filled in 2021. This year's release sees the addition of 2 unique barrels chosen for exhibiting characteristics that would enhance flavors derived from the Centenary Cask itself, including Chattanooga Whiskey's signature Barrel 91 recipe and a singular recipe made with a wide variety of malted barley and rye.
Okie dokie. All right. So let's talk about the nose. Chad, I've not smelled it yet, Chad.
I was going to say, where are you at?
No,
I was just enthralled with Matt's reading and just couldn't tear myself away to sniff the whiskey. So what do you get, Chad?
You get a lot of dark fruit. It's very like cherry, blackberry, very jammy. It's got a little bit of earthiness to it, like dirt. It's very dry. If that makes sense for the nose, very dry. There's not like it's kind of it. It's kind of all I got.
It's a dry nose.
Dry nose.
My hair
Well,
is
it's not very-
drying out because it's so dry.
Well, it's not very vibrant. I mean, like it's very.
I got
It's,
you.
it's a deep dark, and it kind of just like falls off.
Matt, what about you? What do you get?
I got to agree with Chad. It's got a juicy nose to me. Like the berries on there, like
Yeah.
blackberry, plum. Think of like cherry pie filling on the nose. But to me, it also just smells of roast spices, like kind of the roast peppercorn, different like toasted spices. come across on it. Not big on cinnamons, like not nutmegs, not like those Christmas
Not like mulling spices.
spice. No, just like more almost like Oriental spices come across to me, like Chinese spices or even like some Middle Eastern spices.
All right.
But like that nice roasted spice nose. I like the nose on this quite a bit.
Stacey, what do you get?
Well, they have made all of the points that I was going to say. I agree with both of them, actually. The spice was coming through, but I can't quite put my finger on, aside from like the peppercorn, but like I can't quite put my finger on what spice is jumping out at me there. But I enjoy the nose, but it is very drying, so I'm very curious to see how it's going to be on the palate.
And this is 50 proof? Is that right?
Yes,
100 proof.
I mean,
100 proof.
50%.
50%.
Dry January, man.
You know, dry January, 16 days into dry January, so my brain is just frazzled. Today was the type of day where
you were tempted,
the consideration was there to just be like,
just kind of like,
no,
just swallow a little bit.
I don't even want to lie to myself.
No,
No,
it's
me
just,
either.
like,
It's just not
you know,
gonna
I give
happen.
y'all credit for it, but to me, it's just like, I don't drink enough that I think it's going to matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's just one of those things. I mean, to me, 2 years ago when I did it, it was just to show that I could do it. Just like, okay. I mean, and it's not like I sit around and drink all the time, but at the same time, it's just nice to be able to say, I'm going to take a break for a month and give it a rest. Last year, Stacey,
I tried really hard.
we broke at the same time, the same day, I think. We
made it to like day
We were close.
I
We
think
were
it was
late.
like 20 something.
It was close to the.
I don't think it was that long.
I think we
I
were like
do.
the 16th. I think
thought
it was
like
around
4 days in.
No,
no,
because
no.
Mark
I
sent a
can-
picture
I
of a fucking cup on the coffee table.
I'm going to
up
have to
there.
go back and check, but
I don't think it was that
because
early.
we did it during. It was a crew episode. We both caved that same day. I think you had a crappy day at work. I think you maybe started
It was
drinking
bad.
beer
It
or
was-
something. And
Yep.
Yeah, she sent a picture of like a Miller Lite or something.
yeah.
It was
And
a
I
Busch
started-
Light.
I think we both just decided that was it. We're done. So
Hold on now.
Yeah.
This lady with standards over here. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. Hold on now.
I don't
What
drink-
did you just call
I
me?
don't
Miller
drink- I
Lite?
don't typically drink Miller Lite. Okay, Mark, what do you get on the nose with this one?
The fruit, that juicy fruitness, that the blackberry. Matt said plum. I mean, that's like, yeah, man,
Plum's
that's
good,
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good call on that one. Just very sweet. Overall, very, very inviting, very nice.
You get a ton of the wine. Like now that
the wine,
Yeah.
it's
the
opened
wine
up.
comes, it does.
I was going to say, but it's not like desserty necessarily, like a lot of other ones that we've nosed before.
No, but I'm usually the wine finish. I'm usually not like, oh yeah, but this actually smells really good. I really like the way this smells. It could just be me. So, guys, let's talk about some things. And before we started, we were talking about, I guess, predictions for this year, right? Like things that we were thinking about. Chad's going to pull his note. Look, Chad's already been prepping.
Chad's been predicting
I
all
was
year.
driving the other day and
Yeah.
I was like, hey Siri, make a note.
There you go.
Chad's
Chat-
thoughts.
he's
Chad's
like,
car
hey,
thoughts.
He's like, hey, Chat, GPT, what are the most important whiskey things coming? tell me what the trends in whiskey are this year, Chat GPT. Anyway, well, Chad, since you've prepared a list of things, why don't you share some of that with us and our listeners?
All right. So we're going to start with one that I think is pretty like just apparent. I feel like MGP is going to buy a lot more NDPs. Not that I have like insider info that like says that, but I feel like that they are going to start grabbing back at people who buy exclusively or mostly exclusively their stuff. To one, they can recoup that money, the next year as a write-off. But then two, they figure, if Mark's buying, Stacey's buying, Matt's buying, I'm buying, why wouldn't they just buy us up and then keep it in-house, and then, because MGP's got a resurgence again. So
do you think any particular brands
Yeah. You have brand predictions?
might go the way?
I've heard people say NBC and Nulu because they're very much both those brands are based around mostly MGP.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think either one of them.
Nulu came to mind for me right when you said that.
Like Nulu for me, like I'd love that for Chase and the team at Nulu. I think it'd be great. One reason I don't think Nulu is because it's like a brand like Penelope was like a marketing like tons of marketing, and NBC and Nulu don't really do that. So I think they're going to go after somebody who is doing decent at marketing, paying for those targeted ads, and really going out there and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I've been doing that grind so that they can, when they purchase it, that brand can keep doing that. MGP just, lays back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But I feel like it's going to happen.
So do you think they'll target, like Penelope is going to be like one of their ultra premium type brands, right? So you think they're going to target brands that they can place in that same category? Or
I think it'd be both. Like you get your ultra premium. I think they're going to kind of target the whole spectrum.
Full range.
Okay.
Because I mean, you see MGP's own stuff, the Ross and Squibb labeled stuff, like Remus and what's the other one? What's the rye?
Rossville.
Rossville.
Oh, duh. They don't do too well. Like if you like MGP and MGP,
right?
They do. You'll buy it. You might buy 1 or 2 bottles a year, and that's kind of it. Versus something like Penelope, where I bought multiple bottles a year. I share those because it was a different spin on standard MGP.
Yeah, because you're exactly right. That's what they were. Like Penelope wasn't just
MGP.
95.5 MGP
right.
at X year, X proof.
Right.
They had all sorts of different offerings, different finishings, different toastings, different.
But I think that they
points.
will try and find brands that they can put like, all right, here's our, Remus is their baseline. Rossville's their baseline. I feel like they'll try and find a distillery, not a distillery, an NDP to put at the bottom and kind of layer them, kind of like what you've seen so far with Wild Turkey and Wilderness Trail, even though I don't really know what Campari's
what their
thing there
model
is. So.
No, that's a good point.
That is an interesting take.
I hadn't thought much about that, to be honest, but I just thought it was interesting when they announced that they were buying Penelope. I was like, wow, they're buying their own product back, but obviously Danny and Mike had done different things with it. And,
you think about the blending that Danny did and a lot of the different products that they put out, like the Rio, for example, like people went absolutely bananas over that. So, I mean, I think it was a good move on MGP's part. I know that a lot of people were kind of like, I don't know how we feel about that happening, but I think it was a good call.
Thinking back about Nulu, and I love Chase, and I love Mike down at NBC, obviously. Those guys, they really built their brand, at least to me, it seems like, through bourbon clubs and through picks and through things like that. Whereas Penelope was it wasn't built that way.
Picks were kind of like an afterthought.
It was. I mean, they were like targeted, obviously the female market with the bottle design, the logo, everything was very feminine, very appealing as well.
Bottle design game is legit.
Yeah, that is like whoever designed their bottle for them did a great job.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's, I think that's something that maybe sets them apart, but that doesn't mean, like you said, that there wouldn't be a place for NBC or Nulu, not in that ultra premium category, but as a standard.
Somewhere. I mean, because you look at and I'm not a huge fan of Old Elk, but Old Elk is someone who is contracted with MGP or, like a Healing Station from Old Dominic. Like that's a contracted MGP product. I don't think Old Dominic would sell the distillery, but they could sell the brand of Old Dominic to MGP and with that mash bill and MGP could buy that whiskey back and, then they own the brand. Or Old Elk, I don't know. I don't think that they would ever buy Old Elk.
Yeah.
I know there's a market for that, but I don't think the market is as big as people think that market is for them.
I agree with that. I mean, that's a solid point. And those brands would actually be, MGP and Luxco merge, so it's Luxco that actually has the brands, right? So everything comes out that owns Lux Row as well and their products, but it would all come out under that Luxco umbrella, which is all part of the MGP brand of spirits. Matt, any predictions that you think or have in mind? Good point, Chad. I like that.
Kind of going along with Chad's idea of MGP buying back some of their non-distilling producers, I think that some of the remaining Kentucky distilleries that are producing are going to be bought up by larger companies.
Well, I mean, that's why Campari bought Wilderness. Contracting. And then they cut contracting off for a little bit to kind of work out who's worthy, and then they started back up again. So
you think of places like New Riff.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I've thought every year I think New Riff's going to get bought. I think it's going to happen this year. But I mean, I know Ken's retiring and he's leaving it to his daughter, but I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't know if that one will sell.
I mean, they just started. They didn't just start, but they just started releasing their stuff back on the market for for sourcing and contracting.
Right.
I would love for them to sell, but I feel like if they got bought, I have a fear they'd be turned into because they've done such a good job making their stuff affordable. Their LEs are $50, $60.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling if they got bought out, someone would just fucking tarnish that brand.
Yeah, that's a good point. Matt, did you have anybody in mind that you were thinking?
I'm just thinking any available independent Kentucky distillery
that's out there,
that's producing Kentucky bourbon whiskey right now.
Yeah.
I think is fair game.
They're
for
going to be fair game. People coming in to
large
buy them up.
companies. Everybody wants to get their hands on Kentucky whiskey.
Like
Watch MGP buy
Bardstown,
New Riff.
like Pritzker came in.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks.
Yeah.
Well, Pritzker came in and bought Bardstown Bourbon, and they ended up buying
Green
Green
River.
River.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously things going on out there, and people are in Luxco, MGP. Well, they're not Kentucky, but I think you're right, man.
Luxco's Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Luxco, St. Louis.
I thought they were based out, like the office is now based in Kentucky.
They're Luxco, St. Louis. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure
I
there.
thought it was Kentucky too.
I'll double check that at the break.
Yeah.
We'll look
Google
at it.
it. Google it.
I feel like they dropped to St. Louis, Missouri from the back.
Okay, maybe they did. What about you, Stace? You got it, Matt? Was that? Anything else?
No,
that's a solid.
just what I think.
Matt ruined my night. Now I'm worried about New Riff.
It seems to me that everybody wants Kentucky distilled
Yeah.
product right now, and it's really easy
Peerless.
to get. Peerless is another one. Bluegrass Distillers, James E. Pepper, those are all producing distillers
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
that could. You got to think.
I don't know that Sam and Ben would quite sell yet. Because I feel like Sam would be like, no, wait, we can work with 5 more million. We're at 5 more million, yeah.
I'm not implying. I'm not saying they would. I'm just
No.
It's
stating
just
that
something to think
these
about.
these are examples of people that are
Are out there
producing
doing it,
and have aged product that they're putting out under their own.
I could see in
name.
5 years like someone looking at bluegrass and being like,
Well, especially with them expanding into
that's what I'm saying. So
Midway
like
Farms.
once they hit that
Their
5-year
own
mark out
distillery.
Midway, yeah.
Well, and that's what I wanted. Like Denny and Jane, they're building their own distillery. So I'm like, yeah, it's going to be time for them. It's going to. They're going to put out their own product. It's going to take time. But I'm just wondering who's out there already waiting in the wings for Denny and Jane to get this
It's like
distillery
slobbering in the
up and
corner.
going,
like,
so they could be like, "Here's $300 million. We're going to buy you guys." I thought
Being
about that.
Suntory.
Honestly, I thought about that from the very beginning. I'm like, yeah, these guys are going at it, and they still have a majority ownership. They're pricing Blue from like 30 million. I think they're up to 50 million now for the contract build and stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, what's going to happen in 6 years? Once the product's out there, man, who's going to come along and say, we want you guys, here's a big fat 9-figure payoff that we're gonna buy you guys. So I'm just curious. Stacey, what about you?
So I'm going to take it a little different spin
Take
here.
a spin?
I think
Yeah.
that this year we might see some different tour experiences
Oh,
popping
okay.
up along
yeah.
the way. Because I think that it's starting to get a little monotonous. Is that the word I want to use? But like tours all seem pretty much the same,
Yeah.
So I think that I think some people are going to be shaking some things up.
So you think this is going to be the year of the experience, not just the tour?
The VR.
Because, and I'll tell you what kind of got me thinking about that. So Bardstown just put the new like tasting experience room or whatever out on Whiskey Row, right?
Right.
I think
with
that
the-
we're going to see
with the augmented
more
reality stuff,
things
yeah.
like that kind of popping up.
Yeah.
Maybe not in this fiscal year, but like people,
got you.
I think that they're going to start offering different things.
Different things.
Well, maybe Wild Turkey, they're still not open. So maybe they'll
Well,
maybe they'll redo their gift shop again.
Going
Yeah.
back to Nashville Barrel, they opened a place in downtown Nashville on Main Street or down in the heart of all the stuff. They opened up their tasting room and experience or whatever they call it, so it's not just go out to their shop that they
I
have
think it's a good idea.
set up. It's
Yeah.
is Pursuit. Are they doing something downtown?
They're doing a
Louisville,
Whiskey Row. They've got their spot where you go for barrel picks right now. And
Yeah.
like you do that experience, which is their warehouse.
The whole shebang or whatever
Yeah.
they call it.
It's fun. I'd recommend anyone go do it. If you want something to do, you got the money.
Just don't listen to their podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Shots fired.
I'm just
But
kidding.
they're doing September this year, right before KBF. That's their estimation for their Whiskey Row spot to be open.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so here's my prediction, and I think if it happens, it may happen in 2024. If not 2024, definitely in 2025. I think we're going to start seeing a contraction of the NDPs. I think we're going to start seeing some of these NDPs not be able to continue what they're doing. I think we're going to see barrel prices continue, and I think that there's just going to be I'm not saying that the market, that we're on a bubble or anything like that. I'm just saying there are too many brands, too many people out there putting too many things out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that consumers are going to start becoming even more specific and particular about what they choose. and they're not going to continue to support a plethora of brands that come out every day. And there's just not going to be enough interest out there to keep all the new people coming along trying to, buy MGP and or buy other products and, repackage it on their own. The people that are there are established, are doing well, and, I think they'll continue. But I think some of these new startups and people that are going to try to start up, I think they're going to start facing a rougher road, more so than what we've seen over the last few years just through this boom. So my prediction.
I mean, I could see, brands starting to shutter and close doors, but it definitely won't be because of barrel prices, because they're not at an all-time low.
Well, that's
but they're cheaper
they are going down, aren't they?
They're cheaper than. I mean, you can go out now. I mean, if you've got money, you can get. Of course, you have money. If you're broke, go spend $1 million on whiskey. But I mean, there's some pretty good whiskey out there right now. If you've got the money to afford it, that is we're like seriously like a third of what it cost just 3 years ago.
Really? Okay.
And
interesting.
I want to touch on that subject in the next round, but I want to give a quick one before we go in. I think as far as product goes, I feel like Heaven Hill is going to will release at least one age-dated 1783 like they used to with the old Dusty bottles at the 7, 8, and 10 year. Okay. I would like to see that as an LE, then bring it back and kind of the old bottle and the old label.
Yeah, okay.
Just because they revamped the 1783, got rid of the green label. If they're putting some focus on that brand, I hope they start making little premium versions of it.
Nice. We'll see what happens. So let's talk about the whiskey. We got to go back and talk about the palate and the finish. Stacy, have you?
Oh no, don't go.
Matt, what about
first.
you, man? What do you got?
Oh, I don't know how much I can really weigh in on this since it is dry January. But the palate, from what I did not swallow, the wine really comes through on this to me. I taste a lot of apricot, a lot of stone fruit, and it almost has like a souring kind of flavor from the wine, but not in a bad way. I really think I quite enjoy it. It kind of shows off some of that Oloroso, that sherry, sort of that some kind of sweet and sour quality of it. I thought it was good, a little spicy too. I think for 50%, 100 proof.
Yeah.
At least felt warm.
Mm-hmm. Chad, I just saw you dump the rest of yours out. So
you don't have any plans for them to be a sponsor, do you?
Man, no, not at all. They sent me the bottle.
Got to give honest thoughts.
Yeah, man.
So I love the nose. The nose kept growing and growing, and it got sweeter. A lot of grape coming through. I was getting more of that, like he was saying, the cooked spice earlier. On the palate, though, I went 2 or 3 times to it. I got a lot of the malt, which I know that they're a high malt mash bill, but it was like musty peanut butter and like apple cider vinegar, and I just was not a fan. I got a little bit of the wine on the finish. It tasted. I got more of the wine flavor when I spit it out into the cup than when I did swallowing it. You said sour. I know that they said they reused these barrels, but it feels like something in there is not right. You know,
it is kind of vinegar forward.
So usually that's a sign of bad wine, and
the milk's gone bad.
Stacy, what do you think?
I agree.
Okay.
I had really, really high hopes for this, especially with it being pot stilled. I was like, oh, Philip is going to be pissed that he missed out.
But he missed it.
It is pretty drying on the palate. I was, however, very intrigued with how much spice was on the palate with this one.
Yep.
It drinks way warmer than a 100 proof.
Yes.
So I appreciated that about it, but the wine qualities I was looking for in this bottle didn't really shine through for me. I agree with Chad. I almost said Philip. I agree with Chad that it was a little vinegary.
Yeah. Yeah, I was disappointed because after the nose, and I really enjoyed the nose.
Yeah, the nose was great.
And I thought, man, if the palate is anything like the nose, then this is going to be a real treat. And then I felt like Clark Griswold cutting into the turkey. And it wasn't that bad. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
It was worse.
It wasn't terrible,
no,
but it
there was
didn't
spice
exceed
to it.
expectations.
So the spice surprised me. The heat that comes off of it, 100 proof, and maybe it's because I haven't been drinking this month, so my palate's not quite up to shape. But surprised, it was very drying, and I'm not a fan of that tannic.
Yeah, you don't like the dry.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like that. And my mouth, I can just feel how dry it is right now. Like I've got to drink a glass of water.
Update.
And
It's
I just want to go on record saying,
like
like,
a drop of water.
It's
in
better with the
I don't
drop
want
of
to call
water.
it bad
Okay.
whiskey.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No,
I
not
don't
bad.
believe there's
Right.
such thing as bad whiskey. Like, no one has a bad palate. There's no bad whiskey. It's just
Right.
not for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
it's not
yeah.
for me either.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the palate and the finish on it.
Hey, it's experimental, right?
It is,
says
right? Yeah,
so on-
exactly
on the
right.
label.
So,
It serves the purpose. That's exactly.
Yeah.
Do
that's
we know
why
what
they
the
do it.
retail price is on that?
I think they're like
say-
$69.
Yes,
$70.
$69.99.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would probably be a pass for me. And I kind of hate to say that, but again, if maybe it's just a neck pour, who knows? Maybe we.
Here we
But
go again.
Come back to it in 3 months.
The
Yeah.
nose was, I'll revisit it here in a few months, but the nose was very, very nice. I really enjoyed that.
Very nice.
I was disappointed with
much?
the palate and the finish. So that's probably the easiest way to say that, I think. So you guys agree with that, I'm assuming?
I don't know, Matt's.
Tt liked it though. Matt's the
I would
odd.
have to actually drink it. I
Yeah, okay.
was just
I got you.
swish and spit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's how professional tasters do it, Matt.
didn't really get the full
Yeah, Matt, real drinkers,
experience.
real professionals
Real
don't
drinkers.
drink it.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe I'm a
well.
real drinker
Yeah.
for once.
For those of you who haven't figured it out, Matt and I are still obviously doing dry January, right? So we're swishing and spit. Yeah,
We're
so.
not.
All right, guys, we're at the end of round one, thank God. So let's take a quick break. Let's get a word from our sponsors, and who we appreciate very much, and we appreciate them sticking with us. Let's get a word from our sponsors. We'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The three-chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they call Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
From our good friends at The Stave comes Lexington's newest hotspot to meet up with friends, have fun, and eat some great food. District 7 Social is a social and beer hall, but it's a lot more than that. Located in Lexington's Distillery District, it's the home of Lexington's first duck pin bowling lanes, and it also features a self-serve beer wall. That's right, self-serve. And if you want more, they've got it. You can try one of their delicious cocktails from the bar, or order some great German fusion food from their on-site eatery, Germanish. So what are you waiting for? Be seen, be social. District 7 Social.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round two of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's my friends, Stacy.
Not a great friend, but I'm a friend.
Yeah,
What up?
just a friend right now. Matt.
Hey, Mark, you doing well?
You know what? I'm surviving, and with you guys,
Surviving, you are thriving tonight.
That's the best I can do.
Off air, you are owning it.
Killing it, man.
Off air.
Off air.
Let's be clear,
On air,
On
you
air,
suck.
was McCreamy over there. I don't know if this is your best showing, but off air.
Thank you, Matt. Yep. Yeah, man. Chad is with us as well.
I am. And you said podcast when you came on, so, hope
I
people...
said the podcast.
Yeah, you said the Bourbon
Awesome.
Life
Bourbon.
Podcast. So,
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to prod you guys along to get this thing
That's
moving.
what it was,
a little
start
bit,
the
break.
But anyway, we're missing Philip tonight.
Yeah.
So sadly, Philip
Just
is
gonna
not
throw a
with
few yell buddies in there and we'll be all right.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Woo! Did you guys see Ric Flair? Speaking of which, last night on the Tampa Bay Bucks Eagles, you guys watched the game? They had Ric Flair up there. Anyway, every time I see wrestling now, I think of Philip. I don't know why, but
Hell yeah, brother.
yeah. Woo! All right. Anyway, so we're the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor Barn. We appreciate their support. We appreciate all of our sponsors. And let's see, last round, we were talking about Luxco. I did a quick search, and Luxco is based in St. Louis, Missouri. But Chad swears that they've moved to Kentucky, although the Google box...
Man, I like how we were like, we even redid this whole damn part just so you could prove that you were right, and then you still come in like an asshole.
No, I'm just saying.
It's his revenge. It's old
it is.
man's revenge.
It's old man's revenge.
This is the old man punch.
That's right.
There you
Yeah.
go, man.
Yeah.
He's
That's
like,
right.
look at you, whippersnappers.
That's
I
right.
just
I
checked
got
the
my
Google
cane. I'm going to whack you
machine.
upside the head with it, and there it is.
Yeah.
Schmack. But
Make
yes.
sure I get upstairs first.
Yeah.
Can lock him down here in the basement.
Although Chad swears that they're based in Kentucky, so perhaps
No,
if anybody knows
I
otherwise.
thought
I thought
too.
they moved their headquarters Sorry for thinking and being wrong,
No,
Mark.
I'm not saying. Hey, maybe they did. And,
we need a disclaimer.
Thank you for your apology.
the Google box
I know
hasn't.
you appreciate it. Yeah.
Maybe the Google box hasn't updated it yet. Maybe they are.
I don't know. Maybe I should look on the Facebook and see what it
Hey,
says.
I've got a quick question for you guys. Somebody asked me
God,
this
here we
on.
go.
No, this is a legit question. Somebody sent me an email or message on Facebook. Speaking of checking direct messages, right? DMs, right? Somebody messaged me and asked, "Is there a Kentucky distiller that does direct flame distilling or open flame distilling? Do you know of anybody that does that in Kentucky that uses open flame to do any distilling? I mean, is it even allowed?"
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't believe. I mean, like
I just wonder if there's any craft. I'm like, is there a craft distiller? Anybody that does any type of?
just cooking your grain.
I guess so, man. Just
all and then doing it all at once. No.
Somebody.
Well, we just heard Sam Rock saying that in their beginning days, they had direct flame under their pot still.
He did say that, didn't he?
Because they were scorching
They were burning the stuff,
parts
right?
of parts of their run. And
so that's what I was trying to think. If there's
figure
any
it out.
craft distilleries that we know of, and I told him, I was like, I don't know of anybody, but
I have not. If there was anyone who did it, who would do something like that, it'd be MB Roland, like on a scaled level. But like, I don't know that anyone who does that on a scaled level. Like, a lot of places start out like testing and working through that way for craft.
So I can see Alan Bishop doing that.
Yeah.
Be in a shed.
That's like an Alan Bishop. Yeah.
That is an Alan Bishop move, but he is not a
For some
Kentucky.
reason, like maybe Neely comes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think they do.
All right. Well, if anybody out there knows of anybody in Kentucky that's actually direct firing their
Shoot us
stills
a carrier pigeon.
shoot
Yeah.
Wow.
Fill it.
Wow.
Throw a letter on the train.
Put it on the Pony Express.
Wow. All right, guys. Hey, what are we going to drink this round?
Well, you know what
Stacey?
we are drinking this round? We are drinking some Ponfeigh.
Ponfeigh. What is Ponfeigh? I've never heard of that.
Well,
drinking Ponfeigh.
it is a Welsh term. It is a noun that means stag's watering place. How did I know that? It's on the back of the bottle.
Back of the bottle.
Also, this bottle comes with a nice patch, which Chad has been trying to tear off.
I know.
And put on
No, I
a
didn't
sleeve.
say tear off. I just see if I could take it off.
I will say I've never seen a bottle with a patch on it.
Me either. It's kind of.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. Well, I don't know.
You don't want to make like a Wild Hogs jacket with all
Well, you
of the
could.
bourbon
I mean,
patches.
honestly, I guess you could take it off and put it on a jacket if you wanted to have. People had bourbon pins, and
Stitch your jeans back together.
you could put it on a hat, or you could.
We'll see Mark's crush like, oh, Ponfeigh.
Oh, wow.
He's a walking advertisement.
Yeah.
Finally fixed those holy britches you've been wearing for the last year and a half with a Ponfeigh patch.
Oh,
So
anyway.
Ponfeigh for your holy jeans. This is a Westsylvania rye. It's a straight rye whiskey, 95%
Monongahela.
Monongahela rye.
Why is that so hard? It's
I
one of the
don't
rivers that
know.
makes up the Ohio River.
Monongahela.
The
And
Monongahela.
5% malted barley on this one. This one is at least 2.5 years old, but their website says that it is now 3 years old.
Okay. It has nice color on it for
It
being.
is. It's beautiful.
Certainly.
Yeah, I was
This
shocked.
particular bottle that we are drinking is 119.5 proof, but it looks like future instances or future releases, or maybe they just haven't updated their website. They do an ABV of 47.5%
Okay.
on this one typically. So yeah,
So there you go.
not really a whole
95.
lot about this one
Yeah.
on their website, but
Well, they sent me the bottle, so you know what? I thought it'd be nice just to
never
give it
heard of them before.
No.
just to give it a.
It's out of Somerset, Pennsylvania, for those that are curious.
Yeah, there you go.
But one thing that I thought was pretty cool here, they're doing all naturally grown rye grains without any pesticides or herbicides. So
Oh, that
hashtag
is.
organic, I guess.
There
Does
you
it
go.
say where it's distilled?
Yeah, North Carolina.
It said North Carolina,
Carolina.
right? They're a Pennsylvania company, but
Yep.
Okay.
I think the product is distilled in North Carolina.
This is aged at least 2.5 years in new Appalachian oak barrels.
Appalachian oak.
Appalachian, yep, using Somerset County grains. So
Somehow you sounded more normal saying it with your fake accent than with your normal
I
accent.
know, isn't that weird? Yeah.
Oh man! So Chad, I see you're over there sniffing on that. What do you pick up on it?
Christmas potpourri.
It's also pot stilled.
Oh,
so-
it is. Okay. Wow, man, we're in a roll tonight, huh?
Now this thing, the third one is not. But Christmas potpourri, it's like that, like the little sachet packet or whatever they're called. You pour into the bowl.
Is that what you do when you pour the packet? You sachet?
Yeah. It's like a ton of spice, a little floral, honey, but it's like a particular spice. And I can't think of what it is, but like it's got like clove, tons of black pepper. It's a little musky. But yeah, it just reminds me of like Christmas, fall potpourri.
It's a little perfumey.
Yeah. So, Matt, what else? I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to even nose it yet. What do you get?
Yeah, I think I'll run with what we're kind of all feeling here. It's very floral, has a kind of perfume type nose to it. To me, I got a lot of honey. I got a lot of like bit of honey candy, like those honey caramel candies, a bit of honey come across on the nose. There is some peppercorn, some spice with it, a little bit of pot stilled funk too. Just like it's like a little rough on the edges, which I think I kind of appreciate.
It's that Iggy Azalea rye.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I like the nose on this. I think
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying like it. Like when
It's
I smelled
got a lot
it,
going on.
it had like that once that just evoked like growing up with
I'm going to tell you what this reminds me of is the Papa's Pilar, the rye,
The
rye finished
finished
rum.
rum.
Yeah, I can see that.
Does that? Do you guys know? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you
honestly,
let me try that.
Yeah,
last month when we were
So
here.
it's like that bottle's empty, by the way. But
Not a shock. It does kind of have like a rum funk on it.
there's something funky that's sweet, like a brown sugary, burnt sugar
You all right with it?
type
It's
of.
like
It got to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I stuck my nose too
just
far.
so you know, and I was like, what? How did I connect with this guy? Maximilian Merrill is the guy's name. So I did meet him at Barstow. He was at the Bourbon Festival.
That is his real name. I think you're making something up.
No.
Oh.
I know. No. It's legit. Like, so he got his card. He got my card, and we talked a little bit about rye. He was telling me about this. So then he reached back out, and I kind of dropped the ball, but he
It has
sent
some
us
nice legs on it.
he sent the bottle. So I was like, yeah, man, we'd be happy to give it a try. So you're picking up potpourri and floral. I'm picking up almost like dark rum type.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like honey-ish
I don't know.
and funk.
I like it. I mean, I really like it.
As it's sitting in here more, I'm picking up more herbal tea, like mint
Yes.
tea.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Is coming across
Yep.
Yeah.
more like spearmint tea or like fresh wintergreen tea, mint
Yep.
leaf tea come across.
So I'm just curious. It's only 2.5 years old, right? Is that what it says? Does it come across as a young
Nose
whiskey?
doesn't.
I feel like with rye, it's kind of hard to.
Well,
you know,
especially
on
unless
pot,
it's like
pot
super.
still too is
Yeah, off
hard
a
to.
pot.
Yeah. But I mean,
I like the nose.
I will say there's one thing about pot distilled stuff in general. Pot distilled rye is it adds to the complexity of it because most of your column still stuff is very just straightforward and it'll show off the grain in a clean way versus this shows off the grain in like a creative way. You know, you get a lot more of the like finesse stuff.
See, now
It does have a good nose. I mean, I've been sniffing it for like 8 minutes. So
yeah, I'm starting to pick up almost like a citrusy, like a lemongrass type of subtlety on it as well. But I'm still coming back to that whole Papa's Pilar rum, that rye cask finished rum that they put out, the dark rum. Just a sweet, almost burnt sugary type of an aroma as well. So I really like the nose on this one. I'm curious. I haven't tasted it yet, so curious to jump into that here in a few minutes. But we got something else to talk about, right? What was our next topic going to be? We were going to
more
talk
predictions.
about. Oh, do we have more predictions?
if you want to do more
He
predictions,
has.
Yeah.
He has a whole list
we have,
over
well,
there.
then let's do more predictions.
Three things
Chad's
here,
got
Mark.
it.
We only
Chad's
need
got
one
a whole
segment
thing.
to talk about stuff we liked last year. Come on.
Yeah, we don't drink a lot. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, we killed two. We went through two of them. Oh yeah, MB Roland was also on one of my brands who I think could be purchased up because of their contract because they just do a lot.
Yeah.
We said it last round. Do you guys think that we will see a growth in the sub $20 range again? Like, you know, go back 10, 12 years.
I hope so.
There was a lot of that. I mean, hell, like even up to like 2018, 2019, it was a popular thing. We've seen Buffalo Trace kind of bring it back with the benchmark line. But now with the so-called surplus of excess stuff out there, do you think we will see like Barstow Bourbon Company come out with like a random brand name of like $10, $15 bourbon, you know, 4-year-old stuff or 3-year-old stuff or Green River or
I'd love to see
this
that.
stuff that's going to fill that void because that market's kind of been dead because everything's gone to 50, 60, 70 bucks.
Yeah, I'd love to see it, but I don't think distilleries, I don't think they're,
They know that they can get more for it.
yeah, I mean, I just think they're, you know, unless they're going to push out young stuff that isn't going to be, that's the thing. I mean, the trade-off would be it would have to be young whiskey, and are they going to want to put out young whiskey that people are going to be like, it's young whiskey even though it's $20 a bottle?
I mean, that's kind of like how it works already right now. It's just with not coming from your heritage brands of Jim Beam, Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, Wild Turkey,
Right.
but like from the others, I mean, like hell, even Willet kind of is almost in that realm. I think their cheapest products like $20-$25 for the bottled and bond Old Bardstown.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like they've kind of stuck on that market.
I don't know, man. I just think I think this whole premium thing's around until people move on to something totally different. Till people move on to tequila, and we start to see the bourbon.
It's already dead.
And we see
I
tequila
won't
is.
I won't be moving to
Tequila's been dropping double digits.
Has it? Okay.
Last year was the year of tequila, and
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
now I mean, there's not enough agave to. I mean, like
To go around and-
so like all these people or all these distilleries are harvesting. Instead of 7, 8, 10-year-old agave, they're harvesting 3, 4, and 5 year, and they're trying to do that shit where they add stuff to the soil to help revive it, and it's just producing bad vegetables. So
Did not know that. Thanks, man. We're learning all sorts
just
of
a
stuff.
wealth of
No, he
knowledge.
is, man.
Encyclopedia.
He's the master of bourbon here. Come on, he's the
I don't-
master of
I don't
spirits.
Google shit.
Yeah, you just know stuff, man. That's impressive. I think.
He's the
anyway.
bourbon Google.
So I don't know. I don't see that happening. It'd be nice, but I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
It's a tough ask. And I think even if somebody does come out or there is a resurgence of the $20 bottle, I think there are enough new buyers that are going to just buy based on price that they're going to see $20 and think it's terrible.
See, I mean, like you come from the time frame of our time frame. $20 was like, if it's over 20, like, I mean, there's a point in time where I'm like, it's over $20. Like, how can 30 be better than 20? Or like, what makes this worth 50? Or what makes this worth?
Yeah.
Like, I used to turn down buying Old Rip 10 year because Knob Creek 9 year was, $25.99 on the shelf. Old Rip 10 year was $44.99. I'm like, what's that extra year going to do? Like, that was before like I was as into bourbon as I was.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, there'd be 5 bottles of Old Rip on the shelf that I could get as much as I wanted, and I still would turn it down because I'm like, that 1 year is really not going to change, my perceived value of it.
I think the genie's out of the bottle, man. I don't think there's really any way to go back to that. I don't see brands doing it.
Especially with inflation the way it is right now.
Yeah. Good
That's
idea.
why I think it could come back though, is because, I mean, like all these big distilleries, they need something to write a loss on for their taxes. So, I mean, like, you create a bunch of product that doesn't sell or doesn't sell the way you want to and versus your projections, and then you have a loss the next year, and then it kind of helps pad whenever you start cutting other stuff.
Listen to
Couldn't
this
they
guy.
just sell those barrels off? Like,
That's why prices have dropped, because they're not selling these barrels off.
really? You think people aren't buying as much? Like,
No.
You referenced Green River. Would Green River ever come out with like a 3-year $20 brand? Why would they do that when they could just sell those source barrels?
I mean, 'cause they do stuff like that with Wheel Horse. Like Wheel Horse buys from them, and it's Green River. But like, I mean, most Green River stuff right now is like 5-year-old. But I mean, there's no shortage of Green River on the market. Like used to be like $1,100 a year, and then now you're looking at 4-year-old bourbon for like $2,200. So you're literally like half the price of what it was just a year ago. So I mean, like, I don't think there's a bubble that's bursting. I just think there's been an overproduction of a
Right. So there's a
stuff.
market. There is a possibility. There's a marketplace for it potentially.
Yeah, I mean, as a way for these distillers to offload stuff that people can't buy, because
Right.
brands are popping up every day, and we are going to see brands close, and we are going to see people close or stop doing business. But there's not enough buyers of people who want to buy. Like, nothing wrong. I love Green River, but like not someone wants to buy a ton of Green River. The brands who do already do, and they contract with them. They don't need to go out and buy more.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Anybody else got any other predictions for the year?
Well, to kind of piggyback off of what he was saying, though, I want to touch on that a little bit. So, like, what brands, I know that there's been an influx of things that aren't selling, but, like, what brands have you noticed, or what brands do you guys think are sitting on a lot of product that didn't sell the way that they wanted it to sell?
I hate to say it because I think, like, their idea is cool, and they've done a lot before, or not Foursquare, Forgate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they've always been, and that they've not
I
hid
love
the fact that they're
Forgate.
super premium. I like their stuff too. It's just hard for me. Like, I just don't spend
It's hard to
$300
spend
on a bottle.
$200 on a
Yeah,
bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're seeing. Yeah. I mean,
But everything I've had from them has been great.
Yeah, I mean,
But
same.
it's really hard for me to pull the trigger on
pull
a
the
$200
trigger on something that
Buzzard's
Yeah.
Roost.
Yeah.
That's kind of like 4 grain light, or 4 gate. Excuse me.
We're all
Light.
going to give it a different name.
It's Buzzard's Roost. Like, same deal. Like,
Well, it came
really
out
good
like a
stuff. A lot
2
of
or 3 year rye, and it was like $90, right?
great products at like half the price of a 4-gate, but I see it sitting and constantly on like the markdown shelves.
Yeah.
Which is a shame for them and kind of nice for people that know, because it's good stuff.
It is very good stuff. I mean, their whole toasting and double oaking process is nice. Because I mean, you can tell the influence on it. Like you can see what it does to that whiskey, and it makes it better. But yeah, I mean, that's where I think price played a role. Which that was also a brand that came out at the height of the pandemic, at the height of all the barrels were expensive and everything was expensive.
Trying to recoup all their costs and expenses, and now it's like, probably not going to happen. That's why you're seeing the bottles sitting around like the 4-gate, and that's one. Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect example, because you go into liquor stores around here and you're going to see
they're everywhere. They're the entire lineup. And I mean, I used to be able to sit like Christmas time. It's a good expense. It has to be expensive. Don't care if it's good. Just what's expensive, and it's like, well, we need to move to 4-gate. So
yeah, good point. Any other trends? Anything else? Anything's prediction wise?
A new expression of Weller.
What about the single malt? What about the single malt category? What are your
dead.
predictions? It's dead. It's not even going to happen.
I really thought that there would be a lot more of that this past year.
They just it just fell apart. Like the government gave up. Well, I think they made the American Single Malt Society or whatever it is, and the government were like kind of there, but like they couldn't agree on what they wanted. So they were just like, well, fuck it.
Well, I mean, they put out the regulation, the proposal, but like there's never been a confirmation. There's never been a final.
Makes me sad, because I was really thinking that was going to ramp up.
I think it will. I think it will. I really do think it's still going to happen. It's just
with the start of it, distilleries started catching on, and maybe there's a lot of American single malt that's been distilled locally or distilled not just through one or two large places.
Right.
That's still aging, and we might see it slowly start trickling out into the market.
I'd be open to it.
I know that.
Absolutely.
Bluegrass Distillers single malt that I got. Got to try, not that I have.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sam was. Yeah, we were texting back and forth. He goes, "Oh man, I could bring some single malt." I'm like, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Yeah, we got some single malt. I can't remember what he said, like 6 years old or something."
Yeah.
I was like,
shut up.
Yeah. And then he got here and he's like, "Man, I wasn't able to get."
I forgot to bring that.
No, he didn't forget. He's like, he couldn't get to the.
It was out of Midway area
or something.
Yeah, it's over in the corner, like
stored somewhere. He
couldn't get access to it or something. I was like,
dang it. I really want to try that.
Yeah, I got to try when I was 3 years old.
Okay,
so.
well, I was talking about assholes, right? I mean, come on.
Master of bourbon over here.
Yeah. Oh, all right, guys. Well, let's jump back to the whiskey. Let's jump back to this Ponfeigh with the Monongahela rye. That's also named after the river that combines with the Allegheny to make the Ohio River.
Otherwise known as Mark's mom.
Oh, whoa. Ouch. Thank God my parents don't listen to this. So let's talk about this in terms of
Mark's
palate.
mom.
That's all right. Yeah. Palate and finish. What do you guys think? Stacy?
Come back to me. I literally just took a sip. Actually, no, I'll just talk about it.
Go ahead. Just make something up.
Fuck it. Taste is subjective, right? Tastes like vanilla and caramel. No, it doesn't. I get some like plum forwardness on this one. A little bit of funk. I'm getting a lot more like older tasting notes with this than I expected, honestly, with a 2.5, 3 year old.
Yeah, I'm curious what size barrels they use.
It's it packs a punch. I really like it, actually. A lot more like leather tobacco influences on it than I was expecting it to have.
Yeah. Matt, what do you think?
I think it drinks a lot more like a bourbon than a rye.
I agree.
I think they're
not like a 95.5 rye though.
Certainly, certainly not like a 95.5.
Yeah.
Of course, this isn't a 95.5 from a certain distillery in Indiana that's come off of a column. This is a 95.5 from a distillery in North Carolina that came off of a pot still.
Right.
So completely different 95.5s. But I think it drinks a lot like a bourbon. It's sweet.
I wouldn't have guessed this to be a rye if we were doing a blind.
Yeah, I think this one definitely would be tough to pin in a blind, but to me it was sweet.
It is very sweet.
Yeah.
Bubblegum came across. There is definitely some peppercorn, some spice on there. The rye is present, I think, in the palate, but to me it was just like sweet, caramelized honey, bruleed sugar, bubblegum, a little bit of the fruit notes that Stacy was talking about. Spicy finish, of course, didn't drink it, but I thought good influence from the barrel too, especially at like 2.5, 3 years old. There was some charred oak, some sweet oak.
Yeah,
comes through there. I liked what I tried.
Yeah. Chad, what about you, man?
I really like it. I was very surprised. I agree with Matt. It does not drink like a rye. I get a lot of grain, like qualities up front. Some of the rye for me hits up front, and then it turns into those sweetness. There's a lot of like clove and nutmeg. It's got a little bit like licorice. I don't know. It's a unique product. It really is a unique product. I like it a lot. It packs a punch. And I kept looking at the proofs, kept forgetting it was 119, but it drinks a little hotter than that. But yeah, I am very curious if they're using 53s or like 15s or 20, because it's got some really good. It does not drink like a 2.5-year-old rye whiskey. I'll say that.
Not at all. I agree. I would agree with that. I get almost like a black tea kind of flavor on this one as well. Just a little bit of, I don't know, there's something about it, but that spice. Matt, you're talking about bubblegum sweetness and stuff. The thing that stands out to me, and it could be because I've not been drinking, is just that spice.
It's almost like a bitter, like an old fashioned bitter spice.
It is.
Yeah, when I first tried it, it came across really bitter and like almost acrid. But I think when I went back to it and tried the second and third times, it came like at first I thought it was going to be a complete miss, like way too dry, way too bitter. But it really opened up and.
Yeah, I think it did too. I'm really, I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I really
like it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how much I like this. And this is one I would definitely drink. I don't know what the retail is.
Yeah,
I wish
I'm trying
I did.
to find
I'm sorry,
that too.
I don't know. Like I said, he sent me the bottle. So Maximilian, if you're listening.
It's a killer product.
This is one of those where like the looks would not sound, I don't think the bottle itself, it's not like appealing to me.
Yeah.
But, which I hate because I usually say don't buy the looks on the bottle. But, I feel like there needs to be, I don't know, a little more like info about the whiskey itself. Not, I mean, on the back of it, because
rather than the story.
Yeah, I mean,
tell us about the whiskey.
I mean, cut it down, half story. Notes of, because people who look at this, if it's a $90 2.5-year rye,
right,
it's going to be a harder stretch. But if you flip it over and you see, like mulling, whatever tea, whatever it is that they want to put on there, then it might help sell it.
Yeah,
because it is very good.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I don't know why I'm surprised, but maybe because it's just something I never heard of, I'm like a patch for the label is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, it's just, I've never seen a bottle that has like a sew-on patch as the bottle label. It. But I figured Matt, it's quirky like Matt.
Yeah.
So this is actually barrel strength product. So it differs from batch to batch from what I'm reading here. Also, Maximilian was saying that a lot of people saying it's sweeter than you would expect.
Okay.
He said the rye has lots of honey and maple syrup influence on it. It's not as oak forward as some might expect, and it's sweeter than you would expect.
There you go.
I think it's more oak forward than I would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I enjoyed it. So this one's a hit for me.
I can't find anything about price though.
Wish I knew what the pricing was on it, but I mean, as long as it's not a $75 or $80 even.
But they've released. I was going to say maybe it's not even out yet, but they've released multiple batches. So never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say they've released batches, so it's got to be out. But anyway, like I said, he just sent the bottle, and I did not get the. He didn't send any pricing.
Definitely
information
a fixture.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as long as the pricing is right on it, then I would think, I'm looking to see if I can just.
Even if this one was like 100-ish, I think I would buy it just so that other people could experience it. Because if I just saw this, again, not to totally piggyback off of what Chad said, but if I just saw that sitting on the shelf, I'd be like, not really interested. But like, I don't know. It was a really good rye. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I don't see anything on pricing on there, unfortunately. But anyway, yeah, good.
Great job.
Good surprise on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we're at the end of round 2 here. So let's take a quick break, get a word from our wonderful sponsors whose support we definitely appreciate. So take a quick break. We'll be right back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring the local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios around the rectangular table, it's my good friends, Matt.
Hey, Mark, good to be back for a crew episode, right?
Yeah, man, back around the table doing the crew thing.
Back around the table doing the crew thing.
That's right.
It's like talking to my mom. It's like Pete and repeat over here.
Wow. Stacy, how are you doing?
You know
Yeah,
what?
Stacy, how are you doing?
I'm doing just swell.
Nice. You ready for baseball season, looks
I am
like.
so ready for
Spring
baseball
training
season.
is, a month away? What? month and
I
a
also
half?
have a red shirt on under here, but we're
Yeah,
not going to
looks
show
great,
that.
but-
How far away are we on?
So spring
Spring training?
training starts in February, mid-February.
That's what I was thinking. So,
and
yeah.
then opening day is typically towards the end of March.
Yeah, so we're getting close to, spring
wait.
training, baseball
It's
in
my favorite
Florida.
time of year.
Chad, what about you? How are you doing?
I tell you what, I'm doing fine.
Tell you what. Well,
All right,
I'm
Hank Hill.
glad you're here. Good to see you.
Propane and propane accessories.
My name's Mark, and I'm here, and I'm happy to be here. Not really. I'm ready for this show
That's
to be
a
over.
lie.
I'm just kidding. We are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor Barn.
Thanks, Liquor Barn.
Thank you, Liquor Barn.
Yeah, we hope you're not listening.
No, they love us. They love us.
We
They
need to go over there
tolerate.
and have a Bourbon Life meetup again.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We're-
so we can get a chicken salad sandwich. Actually, I'll be
Do we-
getting a Reuben.
Do we still have our tasting flight at Liquor Barn? The
Yes,
Bourbon
we
Life
do.
flight?
Yeah, our flight is still up
Wait,
there.
you guys have
Maybe
a
we
flight?
should revamp that.
Yeah. We picked a.
Can we do a crew night over there?
Yeah, we picked a. Yeah, we'd have to wait till dry January's over because Matt and
Well,
I would be
hurry
sitting
up.
there just
Hurry up. Chad, you want to go do a...
wow.
Cool
But
crew
yeah,
night?
so
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't wait till Saturday. So, yeah.
yeah, we can revamp that. Yeah, we did a. They put a flight. It's the Bourbon Life Podcast or the Bourbon Life flight.
Yeah.
It was Old Granddad 114, Elijah Craig Barrel
Barrel
Proof.
proof. And Old Trusty, bottled Heaven Hill 6-year.
Your 6-year-old bottled
Bottled
in
in
bourbon.
bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should revamp that.
Yeah, we probably should. We
This
could
year.
do that. That'll be fun. We could do that. But yeah, we're going to go up there. I'm not sure, they'll be doing the Pappy raffle again. So we'll go up there and record.
Oh, so they are doing
From what I understand, it's going to happen. I don't know when. But
Because
Yeah.
last year it was in January.
it was, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen
was
in
it
January.
January? I thought it was
Nope,
February.
no, it was January
January.
because we had that and then
Yeah.
BourbonCon
Yeah.
right after.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's
I
a
heard-
week apart.
I've heard rumors of February.
That's what and I'm not saying, nobody has said, hey, Mark, this is when it's going to happen. I just heard a couple months ago, yeah, we're going to do it again at the beginning of the year. But then I heard
that was
rumors
fun. I
on
hope so.
Facebook or wherever
That was a lot of
that it
fun.
was going to be February now. So I don't know if that's true or not. But when they do it, we'll definitely for sure.
There's not many days I get up at 4:30 a.m. to be drinking whiskey at 6.
Oh, yeah.
But that is
Well,
really-
I'm
that
happy.
was really fun.
I was freaking out because I'm thinking I'm
What are you
doing
doing
dry.
getting up at 4:30 to drink at 6? You got to just get up at 6 to drink at 6.
He had to get his
gotta
mind
prep.
and his body
He's
right.
got to shower. He's got to put his beard oil
Yeah, his
in,
beard. He
get
had
it
to.
off.
He
you
had
think
to
this
pack
thing
his
styles
purse.
itself?
you think you wake up looking this good, man? It
No,
takes
this
time.
True story.
This is 45 minutes of work just here,
Oh my god!
Oh, wow. But I was concerned because I thought, man, if they do the Pappy raffle, because, they always have it on the bar, right? So
Yeah.
we buy pours. And I thought, dry January, what am I going to do if we're doing a show?
You're on
Sucks to suck.
We
Yes,
got
you just have
Pappy
to give up.
15 and Pappy 20 and
Well, you
everything.
know the rule, though.
I know.
Trade
Yes.
a day in January for a week in
Yeah,
February.
exactly.
Yeah, which is what we plan to do because we're going to be at BourbonCon this coming weekend. We're going to be recording with a guest out there, which is going to be a lot of fun. Not going to say who it is yet. But Matt and I we will be drinking during the show with our guest. And I think that's going to be the limit of our drinking. But if we're going to call the whole day off, we'll wait
Not
and see.
me.
We'll see what happens. But I'm excited about BourbonCon. So this show comes out Friday, which is the first day of BourbonCon. So hopefully if you're listening to this show, if you're going to be at BourbonCon, check us out on Saturday morning because we're going to be recording with a live guest. It's going to be a lot of fun. But come by and say, I think everybody's going to be there. Stacy, you're going to be there.
I'll be there Friday and part of Saturday.
Chad, you're going to be there.
I'll be there all day Friday and none of Saturday.
None on Saturday?
No, we're going to Ohio. So
Oh, okay.
Hiya.
Matt, you'll be there Saturday, obviously,
Saturday,
to record. Are you
Yeah.
going to be there Friday at all? Or will you?
I didn't even know it was
Will you
going
be
on
there on
Friday.
Friday? Will you be there on
I'm
Friday?
going to try, yeah. That's my goal. But
I
I'm
don't
not
want to
drinking.
hang out with just Chad.
Well, I'll be there. Yeah.
you,
Is Philip?
you just hung out with me last year.
No, is
I
Philip,
did.
Philip going? Did Philip say? Do we know? Has he?
I don't know.
Did
So
we
I-
talk
I
about
don't
this
know.
in our group chat? I feel like I was
We did
left out
not.
of
We
it.
didn't.
No,
we
this-
talked about
this
it
was like-
Oh.
We probably
like
need to
last February
take
after
this
we got
back to the
approval for
group
this one.
chat and get back with our show. I guess so. That might be a good idea to do
Okay.
that. So we'll figure it out. But hey, if you're at BourbonCon, somebody's going to be there from the Bourbon Life. Come and check us out. But check us out for sure Saturday morning, because Matt and I will be recording a show in front of a live studio audience.
Not really studio, but
well, I mean,
audience.
we'll call it our studio.
Let's
we'll
go
be
and,
up on stage.
Oh, you won't be there. I'll be there to heckle.
Driving a date.
Thank you. Well, you did it with me last year. That was fun. We had Wally Dant. That was
a really fun interview.
Yeah, we had a really good show.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was
and
great.
our audience that day was
we got some
pretty
heckling,
lively.
but they were live. Yeah, it was a good time. So I'm looking, and I think Wally obviously is kind of new to the game. Our guest that we're going to have has been in it for a long time with a very large distillery. So I think we're probably going to. I anticipate we'll have a decent turnout for that. So I'm curious to see how it goes in terms of crowd participation and/or heckling.
This is phrase Daddy-O.
That goes on. I'm not saying anything who anybody is, but if you want to come out to BourbonCon,
I'm just trying to help you sell tickets and fill seats here, Mark.
I think they're sold out.
Are they?
I thought they were, or they're close to it. I keep seeing things that are like
do some good
last call for tickets, etc. So they're pretty close to it.
Okay.
If not, they probably will be. But anyway, let's jump back to what we're doing. We've got something poured up. Matt, you brought our third and final pour for the night,
I did.
man. Why don't you tell us what you kindly brought to share with us?
I'll hold up and show people the bottle.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks,
No, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
You're showing Matt's handwritten tasting notes.
Yeah.
So he doesn't forget.
Yeah.
Yep. This is one of the first bottles that really got me turned on to the Knob Creek single barrels. This is in the old label style, kind of the old bottle style, so not even with the embossing on the back. But this is, doesn't say on it, it says it is aged 9 years, but I know for a fact this is a 12.5-year single barrel selected by Trader Joe's, of all places, right here in Lexington.
I don't know that any of those old picks that have that metal or whatever that is on there were ever 9 years old. I feel like they're all like 12 and a half.
The
like,
ones
that's
that
probably
I
the youngest
have are
one.
like 14.
Yeah, I have some that are like stamped 15-year, 14-year on the label up front.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
But,
that's a trend I want to see.
So here's
back.
the funny thing. I just remember when Matt and I first met and we started talking about bourbon and meeting up at Liquor Barn, having drinks and stuff. Matt was always like, man, Knob Creek single barrels, they're awesome. You got to get them. I'm like, you didn't like I'm just not a fan of Knob Creek, right?
What a tool.
So then BHG invites me on that pick out there, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so awesome. And then after that, yes, Matt was right. So Matt, I still have to give you props for preaching the gospel of Knob Creek bourbon before I was a believer, because I'm definitely a believer. Of course, now you can only find these barrel picks are, they're not 13, 14.
But they're still good.
15 year. Oh, they still are. There's no doubt about it. So, Stacy, your nose, and what do you pick up on this one? I'm going to throw it to you first. I'm so sorry.
It's delicious. I'm getting like some like pie crust or like puff pastry, some sort of sweetness going on there. A little bit of some like stone fruit, like cherry. It's not super sweet, but I don't know. This is like quintessential, like what I love to nose in a bourbon.
The cherry comes out to me that I got initially. Initially I just got a lot of sweetness, but then I got that peanutty kind of aroma, that nuttiness that comes through. I'm getting oak on this one as well. Just a light oak, not overpowering. But those are like the top three things that just jumped out, out at me. Chad, what about you?
I get follow up to what she said, a lot of pie crust. I do get a lot of cherry. You know what transparent pie is, right?
Transparent pie?
Oh my God. You know what transparent pie is, right? What? It's like a sugar pie?
No.
Enliven us.
Oh my God.
Because I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
either.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
My heart just sank.
So sorry, dude.
How the fuck are we all in Kentucky? No one knows.
Transparent pie?
Yeah, it's like basically the pecan pie without pecans. Like
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like that cooked sugar, that's like, it really reminds me of like that.
So it's like corn syrup.
In
Yeah,
a pie crust.
Corn syrup pie.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like there's another form of that pie called chess pie.
That's chess pie, right?
Just like super sweet that it
Doesn't chess pie still have nuts in it though?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
does it. Okay.
Nuts
it does.
and raisins are
So
nuts.
Yeah.
our resident chef down here, No wonder I'm
I don't
texting
know.
other shit. I'm just kidding.
I've never had transparent pie. It
I'm
doesn't-
very curious to know, anyone who listens, how many people know what a transparent pie
Yeah,
is. and
we
who
need
have
to
had it,
know
because,
people shoot us some messages. Let us know or email us.
What a
the
weird
whole
name, though.
point of
How,
it-
like, how are you going to sell pie? Be like, do you want cherry? Do you want chocolate? Do you want transparent? Do you want banana
because
cream?
the middle of
Do
it
you
looks
want...
transparent, Matthew.
But I'm saying the name of it. Like,
doesn't sound very country
does,
either.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
who's
I mean, it's
all
pretty
like-
much just made for people like where Mark and I grew up when you're broke, and it's like, what do we have? I don't know. Put some sugar in the fucking pie and cook
Let's
it.
heat some sugar up in a pot and put it in a pie crust. Oh yeah, and put some whipped cream on top of it.
No whipped cream.
You know, I'd try it,
Yeah,
but probably
Yeah.
wouldn't like it.
Matt, what else you get? What do you pick up? Your bottle. You got the tasting notes on it, so
Yeah. What's your tasting notes say?
handwritten on tape.
This one is very, like Stacey was saying, like quintessential Knob Creek to me on the nose. It's got a dusty peanut nose to it. There is that pie crust or that fresh baked bread. I also pick up like buttermint.
Okay.
Ooh, like the little mints that
Yeah,
they have
the
at it, like
little
wedding mints.
grandma mints.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
grandma
buttermints.
mints, yeah.
I think some of that Ryes coming across to me that way. But I'm getting a lot of, like a good amount of oak and tobacco blending together to show some age.
That tobacco
with it as
just
well.
started. As soon as I finished, I was like, tobacco
tobacco
started
They
coming
just need
through.
to make candles of this, honestly.
Oh yeah, Knob Creek candles. That would be
That's what
nice.
Candleberry does.
Very nice. Do they? Okay.
Is it called Mama's Transparent Pie?
Transparent candle.
You can't
Derby
even
pie.
see it.
Yeah.
Where's the wick? Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Is that what they called you in high school?
It's where's the wick?
Transparent pie.
No, they called him where's the wick? That's what his first girlfriend called him. Anyway, so moving on, guys.
Where's
We
the
got-
Chadwick?
Where's the Chadwick?
all right, so we got a topic to talk about this round. Favorites for 2023.
That's right. We have wrapped up
We are done.
2023. We
That's
are on
right.
season 5. So
How in
we
the world
thought-
have you done it?
I don't know.
I'm looking at you, Matt.
Not you.
Yeah, not you. Not you. Matt, how have you
Man.
done it?
I have the easiest job in all of this.
Man.
It's like show up, give some tasting notes, walk away. Mark's got to do
drink
all.
some whiskey.
Yeah, Mark's got to do all. I'm like, the mother-in-law at the wedding. Show up, shut up, and wear beige. Right?
Beige.
No,
that what it is?
you do more than that. You keep him in line so that way his memory stays intact. It's like same
Yeah.
time every week.
You help him to the bathroom.
Boy, keeps me young, man. All the abuse.
He pushes him
You
in the
cook
chair.
for him?
keeps me
You're the
young.
resident
Yeah,
chef.
I am
Yes,
planning
For now.
his-
And you bring your own slippers when you come over. So
Oh, wow. Did you just hear end the term care? Man. Anyway,
This
no.
next episode is brought to you by.
Seriously. Kerr Brothers Funeral Home.
I was going to say a nursing home, but you took it to a whole other
I just
level.
took it to a whole other level, didn't
Shoo.
coming to you live from Fayette County Senior Assisted Living.
I? It's the Bourbon Life Podcast.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Thursday night, ladies.
It's bingo night.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
Man. Anyway, Matt, so what's your favorite? Do you have favorites for 2023? Why don't you share that
I
with
do have some favorites. So I
Yeah.
went back through our list, and I was just picking out stuff that we tried on the show,
from the show? Okay.
so that we had some reference points to go. A couple of the things that really stood out for me. We had Sebastian Gavelier on, and he let us try and gave us a sample of the 2022 George T. Stagg.
Yep.
That was pretty remarkable. That one really stood out. Another of my favorites, and maybe even my favorite rye whiskey of the year, is the James E. Pepper Bottled in Bond.
Okay.
At $50 a bottle,
Yeah.
I think it drinks way, way above the price point. I just thought it was absolutely phenomenal.
Very nice.
Chad, to your credit, the Fortuna, batch 4 of the barrel
Wow.
proof Fortuna.
Listen to that.
Batch 4.
I'll take that.
Absolutely love that you were nice enough to leave me with a bottle, and that one went home for Christmas as well. So I got it got to meet the parents. So it was a big deal for
So it's
us.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a big deal for us.
Very nice, man.
So many more. We got to try what I think the most recent Remus Repeal Reserve, the special with Ian Sturzman.
Ian Sturzman.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
We had Ariane and did the Whiskey Gypsy.
Whiskey
I thought that
Gypsy was really good too.
That was
quite
actually
good.
really good.
yeah, I was kind of not surprised.
I
I
love the
shouldn't be
bottle for
surprised.
that.
Yeah.
I said I love the bottle on that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I thought that
anything
was-
that Ari's involved with seems like I tend to enjoy. So that Whiskey Gypsy, that's a good one, Matt, for sure. What about you, Stacy? You got any favorites, anything? Look,
So
you're making your notes over there.
2023 was the year of rye for me, apparently.
There you go.
I've got quite a few ryes that stuck out to me. The James E. Pepper Bottled and Bond rye was also one that stuck out to me. I feel like I talked about this last year, but the Nelson Brothers 15-year-old rye.
Yeah, I know.
I'll never let that one go.
Well,
it was
and the
beautiful.
funny thing was because we got to try it late in 22 when Charlie came up and recorded with us. So I guess it was technically a 22 release, but it really hit in 23. So like Fred had it on his 23 list.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I put it as my top rye of 22. And I'd say I'd still put it up there for 23, but.
Well, yeah. Stacey, you keep on with yours and then.
I also had, and I don't have a lot of information on this one, but I had a 15-year-old rye from Art of the Spirits when I was out in Colorado.
Okay.
Just had like a little bit left, and it was beautiful.
Very nice.
Can't remember. It was not an MGP. I can't remember where that one was sourced from, but it was phenomenal. And then to top it off, Wendy and I went to the Bourbon Library at Bardstown.
Oh, yeah.
And had an old Overholt rye from 1906.
Oh,
Pennsylvania
You
rye.
actually got, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen the bottle up there, but
my God.
Never tasted it.
Fantastic.
Really interesting.
Yes. So those were my tops.
No man will ever come close to Old Overholt for her.
Nope. Never.
Chad,
Sorry, guys.
What about you, man? What are your tops from the year?
I had a lot. I mean, I even did a top 10 list this year. I do one every year, and I never post it. This year I posted it, and to me, it's still kind of like I hate lists. For me,
Right.
No one really cares about my like tops, but
We care.
I mean, like
There are people
in
that
the
care.
fashion of like everyone does their top 10. No one really cares. Just like, did you like? What did you like? There's a lot. I mean, we tried a lot of stuff on this show. There's a lot more stuff we would try after show sometimes than what we'd have on the episodes.
Yeah.
Pepper. Barrel proof for me. I mean, you guys seen me at
Oh, yeah.
Bourbon on the Bangs. I was like,
That was the
fuck
first
yeah.
thing Chad says. It was
Yeah.
like, guys, I don't know what you're doing, but you got to go down there and buy as many of those barrel proofs you can buy. I'm like, okay, Chad, we'll get
It
it.
was great. I mean, I
Yeah.
bought 2 bottles that day and poured one. Like, we killed a bottle that day. Well, between me and I was sharing it with people who were shopping.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That was one. I hate to throw like single barrels out there, but like the Baker's 13 I got this year, I thought was really
that
good.
was another honorable mention. That was
Just
really
the
good.
Hardins Creek lineup. I don't know. There's a ton of good stuff. Something bottles on it, like Mash Keep Voyage, I thought was really good.
We definitely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we definitely.
Oh, did you guys put a hurting on that one?
One night, just sitting here.
We're supposed to do work that night.
Yeah, we didn't. We drank.
You did some work.
We
Yeah.
We did some work on that
on
bottle.
that bottle.
Yeah, we're getting bottle over.
God, I woke up the next morning. I'm like,
Why does my jaw hurt?
I did not say or think that.
Oh, boy.
Matt, but I was curious
Oh,
as to
boy.
how that much of the bottle disappeared. So,
Wow.
yeah,
So note to self.
I'd say Maker's warehouse aged, but if that's not a real release,
it's not a what?
a real
Oh,
release.
the warehouse age, not the cellar.
Not the cellar aged, the warehouse aged. Yeah,
Yeah, the sneaky little.
I've been, well,
Yeah.
I know a few people who have been able to get some warehouse aged, and I just the few
Twas
times I've had it,
I agree with that.
I thought the cellar age was good. It met my hype, and then did not like exceed my hype.
Right.
Because the warehouse age was like, this is what it should be.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny because when I was at the event there, and we got to taste both of them, it was me and I think Steve Coombs was standing like in front of me or behind me, and we were both just like, wait, what? When we tasted that warehouse age, and I was, so yeah, big fan of that one. I agree, and I wish they would release it, but you know, it's never going to happen. But Stacey, I'm with you. I got to go back to that Nelson Brothers, that 15-year-old rye. One of my favorite whiskeys ever. I mean, it really was. In 2022 was my top rye, probably tied for my favorite whiskey of that year. That William Heaven Hill 15 was another one of my favorite, probably my top that I had from 2022. But I would put the Nelson Brothers 15-year-old rye back in 2023 as definitely my favorite rye. The barrel proof James E. Pepper, we were talking about that off camera before we started. That was one of my favorites this year. I think, you know, if you think about it in terms of overall pricing and just kind of surprise at how good it was, I think just the whole combination, the beauty of the bottle, the taste of the bourbon. Just everything about it was just like, I mean, that to me is what a bourbon should be. Is priced at what, $50? Is that something?
65.
Yeah,
But
something
their
in that
bottle
range,
and
yeah.
bond's $50.
Yeah.
I mean, the cash drinks are going from like the proof points like 104 to like 120. So there is variance. So it, there is some change in it. But I mean, I feel like, for $10, $15 extra, hell yeah, I will pay that.
Yeah.
Plus it looks beautiful.
It's delicious. I'm going to say my favorite bourbon. I mean, I got to do this, and I'm going to be such a homer for it. The C923, the Elijah Craig barrel proof. Man, that
Do you
was.
still have some of that one left?
Do I still have? I got like 4 bottles. Are you kidding me? Of course
Well, do
I
you
do.
have one that's open?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I want to try that before.
And that one got a lot of flack, I think, because people are like, the stats, the new one, the new Elijah Craig barrel coming out is 10 year, like 10 year, 9 month or something.
Yeah.
So people are like, they're only buying it because it's 13 year. I'm like, no, like it's like that is just age aside. Like I thought B523
523
was 11 year. I thought that one was good.
Yeah.
I did like that one.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I think that if they took the age statement completely off there, people would say it's the same thing. Like, it either
Right.
sucks,
Right.
it's not as good as it once was, or it's the same thing we're saying now, like, that they just keep getting better. But like, I thought C923, I don't care if it had an age statement or not, it was just a good bourbon.
It was. And for that being my favorite regular drinker to come out with that, it was just like, I mean, I've got to put that one up there on the top for me. I really, really enjoyed that one for
you brought
sure.
some nice rare character stuff this year too.
You have, I mean, no doubt about it. We've had in the Brook Hill that we've tasted as well. That stuff is some good stuff. So we've had a lot of good whiskey on the show. Man, I didn't get back to go back and look at my list that we've.
Matt did his homework.
I know. I didn't know for sure this.
Well,
is what
here's
we're
another.
doing.
I forgot about while we're on the subject of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Here's one that I thought went to bat with that C923 was the Old Dominic Barrel Proof Batch One.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
like
good
5
point.
years old.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I thought that
was
one
really good.
punched way above the grade.
Yeah, good point.
What was the price point on that bottle? You remember?
65.
Every bottle $65. Man,
Is it?
I don't
I think
remember.
it's $64.99.
It's a decent price. It's not that much, but that batch one.
That one was
yeah,
delicious.
I agree because I remember tasting that during the show
Yeah,
with Alex.
That
and
with
it was
Alex. I'm like, holy smokes!
Crap.
Was it just because Alex was here though?
Even Mark was saying this could be like
It's seriously
a
what it
one-to-one
was really
replacement
good.
for an Elijah Craig Barrel Proof.
Yeah, it was seriously.
It's very good.
Seriously, some good
Yeah,
stuff.
you let me try that one after the episode.
So we've had
Very good.
we've had some really good whiskey, and there've been a lot of good whiskeys put out this year. So I'm excited to see last year. I'm excited
Any
to see
disappointments of 2023?
Ooh, good question. Other than being on the show with you guys.
Well, I got news for you. It's going to continue into 2024.
Correct.
So.
You keep us around. I think you like the abuse.
I do. It keeps me young, keeps me on my toes, keep me fresh,
Brian Johnson over here.
I can't think any big disappointments. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Anything stands out to you? Or?
No, I was just trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, I figured
That's what
you
I'm
were.
good at.
Chad's got he's got an opinion on everything. He's like I won't say it, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, just say. Everybody's got one.
Yeah. Mr. Asshole over here. No, I had a few disappointments. I'm not here to stir the pot, so to speak, with Mark being Mr. Chef over there. But there were definitely some brands that let me down, and I think some of the stuff came out was a little overhyped and overpriced. But
well, we don't have to go into it because I don't want to offend anybody. But
no, that's saying,
let's just say
at this point in everyone's bourbon journey, and like where we are with marketing, it's not all marketing, but I think some people are just really relying on like what used to be and now what is and that kind of stuff, and all the stuff I had was along that line. So
I got you. Well, that makes sense. Well, guys, we probably should talk about the palate and finish on this Knob Creek since we're pretty much at the end.
It makes me so sad to watch you guys spit that out.
Around, I know. I dread it. I hated doing that.
that's why Mark hasn't done it.
Yeah, I just drank it off. No, I did not. I rinsed and spit. So, Chad, what about you? What do you get on the palate and finish on this one?
I get a lovely like toasted s'mores, like the chocolate, marshmallow, graham cracker, good cherry, little coffee leather. It's got a beautiful tobacco note. It almost hits almost like a dusty with that brown sugar tobacco-y note. Nice oily mouthfeel, thick, quintessential beam. Definitely tell it's older than your standard beam, but very good.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of favorites, I forgot to say Frankfurt since we're talking Beam, Hardins Creek, Frankfurt.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't start that out.
I forgot that. Yeah, my bad. So anyway, Matt, what about you, man? What do you get?
It's got the brown sugar to me.
He's going to check his notes on the back.
Yeah,
side out.
Right.
He side-eyed that piece of tape.
Cinnamon to me, this is like cinnamon gummy bear.
Cinnamon
sweetness
all day long. Cinnamon,
yeah. But then it's like that warm, spicy cinnamon with it as well. I think Chad's right. There is leather, there is tobacco, there's definitely age on this
for sure
that comes through. But it just drinks warm. It drinks aged. There's influence from the oak. It's not overly oaked. There's influence from the grain. It's not overly grain. I think 120 proof, I think it drinks about it. A lot of times people will say it doesn't drink that hot or it drinks hotter, but I think it hits right on, and it's hard to find too many faults with it. I think it just drinks like some really good quintessential.
No, on
Knob
paper,
Creek.
that's like the perfect single barrel. Like, I mean, it checks everything that I want in it. Really good.
Same.
Yeah.
Stace, what about you? Anything else?
So I agree with both of these degenerates. It does have some like old dusty influences to it, which I absolutely love and I miss about Knob Creek
miss
picks.
those old Knob Creek picks.
With this one being 12 and a half years, I agree. This one's like right at the sweet spot. It's not too much oak forwardness to it. It's a nice balance. I like that you get the leather and tobacco influence on it. It's not overly sweet.
Yeah.
And that 120 proof point is
right there. Yeah, I can't say much else. The cinnamon stood out to me.
delicious.
Cherry, cinnamon, the brown sugar, those notes of leather, tobacco, and just that nice combination of flavors. I mean, you can't ask for anything more from a bourbon.
The graham cracker really does stand out on this one to me, though.
120 proof too. I mean, come on. I mean, that's just yeah. I'm thinking I've got those barrel picks that I did with OBC Kitchen. They're like 13 and a half, 14 or 14 and a half years old, and they're on the mantle. They're unopened, and I'm like,
I bought a whole set and put them all down.
yeah, I bought a set and opened them, and I still have some left somewhere, a couple of them, I think. But man,
So
I'm
good.
afraid one of these days it's just going to be like, just pop it open and just enjoy it, right? So, all right, guys, that's obviously a win for all of us, right? No question about it, hands down. Great choice. Thanks for bringing that,
Yeah,
Matt.
thanks,
Sorry,
Matt.
Yes, thank
sorry, I had
Absolutely.
to swish it and spit it, man, because that's
He
one
knew
I
what
could.
he was doing.
Yeah, I could definitely enjoy it. 15 more days for us, and we'll be home for it. Well, actually, no, because we're going to drink Saturday with our guest at the podcast, so we're going to have to add 7 more days in February, right? So we'll see how that plays out.
We'll make it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys? Stacy, anything you want to add before we wrap it up tonight?
Just really looking forward to a new year of new experiences and new whiskeys and all the same bullshit with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, I couldn't ask for anything more. Matt, what about you, man?
It's like condescending.
No, that was legit. I mean, I
can't
couldn't ask for
wait.
anything more. Who could ask for anything more, right? And hang out with your friends and drink bourbon. I mean, how
Good.
awesome.
I don't know. You know?
I mean, how awesome is that, guys? Because I mean, today was one of those days at work. It's like, you know,
It is
you
nice.
you have those days, and you're just like, oh my god, this is a day that after work I'd be like, I would really just love to have a nice pour of whiskey or whatever. And then
And
you
you
guys
have
come
to
over,
have
we
it.
hang
And
out.
he did. And he spit it out.
So you guys,
Yeah.
but I spit it out. But you guys come over, hang out, and it's like all that kind of just fades away to the background, and we just have fun, have good conversation, and enjoy each other's company. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy that.
That's
So
sentimental as shit.
but who could ask? Well, I'm an old guy. I'm supposed to be sentimental, but who could ask for more than that? Stacy, go ahead and mock me again now. Yeah, Matt. What about you, man? Final thoughts?
Yeah, Matt.
To our listeners, morning, noon, or night, whenever it is you get your Bourbon Life podcast, thank you all for joining in with us on this first Crew episode of 2024.
That's right. Yeah, man.
I know this is going to be a good year for Crew
Fuck
episodes.
you, Philip.
I have a feeling this will be a good year for Crew episodes. So.
Yeah, I agree, man.
Chad, Stacy, Mark, thank you all as always for sitting down and doing this. I'm looking forward to these episodes especially.
Awesome. It'd be good.
If the PR firm doesn't kick us out.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Chad, what about you, man? Any final thoughts?
That's just going to be like, he needs to stop dropping so many F-bombs. No.
No, that's Matt's parents talking about you.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
That Chad guy really likes to say the F word, doesn't he?
It's just like
I
another
think I
word.
made it through the entire episode without dropping an
You
F-bomb.
did really good.
I don't know if I've ever made it through one
I don't
without
think you.
dropping
I don't think
I don't
you
think
made
you
it through
made it through 5 minutes.
You haven't made it through my intro without dropping an F-bomb, dude. So
No, I mean, like you guys said, I'm excited for another year. I mean, a lot changed last year for all of us, and then a lot continues to change. And the industry is going to be fun, and I just look forward to all the experiences. I mean, last year we all really kicked off going to these festivals and started the year with BourbonCon.
Yeah.
Then we ended everything with KBF and Bourbon on the Bank. So it'd be another fun year, and I'm excited to do it all with you guys.
Awesome, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. This is going to be a great year. I mean, 2024 is off to a great start. Sponsors coming in on board with us and everything. So I'm really excited, looking forward to this year. I feel like, after 4 years now, I feel like we're hitting our stride, and it's just like that, like a comfort level, not that I'm just sitting back and saying, oh, it's on autopilot, because I never want the show to be like that.
I don't think that it's possible.
I don't think it is either, but I feel like it's finally getting to that point where everything seems to just be kind of gelling together, and it just seems to flow. And that goes from anything from booking guests to getting sponsors to even editing and things like that. Everything just seems to finally fit together. And so I'm really having a good time doing it. And of course, love doing it with you guys. So thank you guys for hanging out and having fun.
Hey, thanks for having us in the bourbon basement.
Yeah.
In the Bourbon Life Studios.
Well, the show would really suck if it was just me sitting here by myself. So,
Well, I didn't want to say it, but you did.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. But I do want to thank our sponsors, Liquor Barn, our presenting sponsor, because we are the Bourbon Life Podcast presented by Liquor Barn. So we appreciate their support, everything they do for us. All of our other sponsors, we appreciate all that they do as well. And you, our listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. Like Matt says, whenever it is that you get your Bourbon Life fix, we really appreciate that. We hope to see you guys. If you're listening to this show on Friday, we'll be at BourbonCon Friday, Saturday. Come and check us out here in Lexington. If you're in town, that would be great. We'd love to see you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us or answer any of the questions that we posed during this episode. I forgot.
Transparent pie.
Fire, direct fired stills. Everybody knows anybody in Kentucky doing that. Shoot us an email, thebourbonlife@gmail.com, or you can DM us if you're cool on social media.
Slide into the
Facebook,
DMs.
Facebook, Instagram. Love to hear from you guys. And also, if you feel so inclined, please leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. We'd really appreciate that. Oh, I do want to say also, check out Mike on the Whiskey Trip. He's doing his show as part of the Bourbon Life Crew as well. So check out the Whiskey Trip. He puts out a new show every Tuesday. It's a lot of fun. Mike's a good guy. So give him some support. Check him out. And with that said, I'm going to wrap it up. Send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full. May you keep on living the Bourbon Life.
Cue the violet.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the Bourbon Life.